Hey everybody, it's Peter and I'm standing outside Kawasaki Way, which is the off-road test track at Jim Gilbert's Power Sports, and we're going to talk about them in a second because they're amazing. But in this review, what can you expect? This is going to be a walk-around review where we give you all the details of this Teryx 4S Special Edition. I love this thing. I think it's super practical for a lot of people, but we're going to show you some of the things that the other videos don't show you because I've found that there's not the information that I want to see online. So if you like that kind of review, make sure you subscribe to our channel because we're going to give you a lot of details on this that you don't find in other reviews. And the best thing is, if there's something that I don't cover, I have access to the full line of Kawasaki vehicles here at Jim Gilbert's Power Sports in Fredericton, New Brunswick, and we can come back to this and answer your questions both in the comments section and also in future videos. We're hoping to create a little community here where if you have questions, I can help you find the answers, put them on video for a whole bunch of other people to answer. So let's get going. So if you want to know more about Kawasaki Way, what that is an off-road test track here on the 17 acres of Jim Gilbert's Power Sports. And if you talk about a dealer that takes care of their customers, how about an off-road test track to take something like this out and see if it's made for you? Jim Gilbert's Power Sports, Jim Gilbert's Wheels and Deals, they're known as Canada's huggable car dealer. They give me full access to their line of vehicles and they take care of you like no other dealer I've ever seen. They took on the Kawasaki line just a few years ago. They are the #1 selling Kawasaki dealer in Canada. #1 selling by volume. That's incredible. All right, Teryx 4S, let's take a closer look. There are 3 things that do not come standard on this Teryx 4S Special Edition, but I think it's great for the video anyways. The wheels are the same, but the tires are slightly larger on this. They've upsized the tires, and that's just to show you that this is what you can do on a model like this. A lot like people upsize tires on Jeeps, you can do that here. You've got lots of room to do that. Out back here, we have these light bars. I'll turn them on later in the video. They're kind of cool and decorative. You may want them because they look fun. They work great here at the dealership, but they may not be something you want. And out back here, there's normally a pickup truck type bed back here. They've got a box in here, which frankly is probably the way I would equip this. The Teryx 4S is not the Kawasaki Mule. The Kawasaki Mule can be used on the trails, absolutely, but it is more of a working vehicle. This is more of a trail riding vehicle. It's also not the KRX. The KRX is more of a higher performance, maybe dune running vehicle, which can be used on trails, but this is kind of the trail king. And here in New Brunswick, this makes a lot of sense. And what I love about it is the 4-passenger seating without the extended length. And when I say without the extended length, it is 7-ish, 7.3 inches or so longer than the 2-passenger version of this Teryx S, but it is not a longer wheelbase. The center of that wheel to the center of this wheel is the exact same as the 2-passenger vehicle, and in my mind, the 4-passenger one is the one to get because you can do things like use this luggage space. We're going to show you a little bit later in the video how you can use this as luggage space. You still have a small bed to take the stuff that you want to take. And again, I don't think you're buying the Teryx S as a larger bed one. Now, if you only need to take 2 people ever, the 2-passenger one's the way to go. If you kind of want a versatile unit that you can take 4 people with, this might be the one to go with. If you think about trail riding with your friends, you have a few options. You can all take your own ATVs, you can all take your own side-by-sides, but a 4-passenger allows you to do all kinds of things that other options don't allow you. First of all, if you have multiple vehicles, you need a bigger trailer or a bigger way to take them. Maybe the back of a pickup truck and a trailer, all those kinds of things. This will easily fit on a trailer and take your 4 people. If you've ever been trail riding in a group of friends, I hope you're in the one out front, because if you're 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or beyond, you are eating dust, and that's just not fun. What's cool about this is you all share the same unit. You're not eating the dust of other people. You also can have a little bit more communication between the passengers, and you see the same things. I was out trail riding the other day. I saw a deer. I tried to show it to my son. He was on the back of my ATV, and guess what? He didn't see it. Why? Because he saw the back of my head. Out here, you've got good visibility. You've got sort of theater-style seating. These rear seats are higher up. We're going to take a look at these in just a second. But the overall idea of a 4-passenger really gives you some flexibility for practical things. And the biggest thing is, like I said, going with other people, being able to communicate with them because they're beside you, not necessarily behind you, and you're not eating the dust of everybody else. Let's take a look at how these seats work and why it makes sense for you. I want to start with the rear seat because that's really what makes this special. So first of all, you have these big wide opening doors. They swing pretty much 90 degrees, not quite 90 degrees, but pretty much. They're sort of plastic lined on the inside, and you've actually got doors. A lot of ATVs or side-by-sides don't have any of that extra little bit of mud protection. Now, if you get muddy in here, the floor is very grippy and it does have drain holes, so no problem if you go through a water hole and if things get wet, it'll drain right out. But big thing I like, big grab bar here, you can grab in there. I'm 6 feet tall, and I fit. There's a lot of economy cars that I don't fit in here. I've got tons of headroom, which is good because I'm gonna wear a helmet. And you've got this grab bar the entire way across. So if you're swinging side to side, you've got good ability to hang on here no matter what. And again, that theater style, stadium style seating, I can see out over this person. They're gonna have to be very, very tall for me not to be able to see out. And of course, it's easy to see around. And because I can kind of lean in here, seeing everything in front of me is just not a problem. It's super comfortable back here. Now, you have to be seat belted, of course, so you have seat belts. If you're swinging around here, you do have this extra little bar here, which is gonna grab your shoulder. Now, you don't really need that because the seats hold you in place. They're comfortable and they're cushy. Even though the whole vehicle bounces, the seats bounce. So when you're going over rocks and ruts and other kinds of things, it's just an absolute blast sitting right here for your guests. Again, door shuts easily. You've got that ability to still have that protection, but have full visibility. It's very low. It's basically in line with my leg here, just above the seat. So it's gonna keep some of that mud from just blasting you right away, but it's still gonna give you that open feeling, and it feels very, very airy here. I like that it has a roof, gives you a little bit of sun protection when you're out on a trail ride for a long time, but the rear seat in here blew me away. You see all these extended wheelbase, extended length type ATVs and side-by-sides, and you don't see these smaller ones easily fitting a person, but Kawasaki's worked their magic here, and it quite easily fits a person. Now, we talked about using this area as a luggage area. Let me show you that right here. So as a luggage area, you've got a lot of space down here in that wheel well. Again, with that door shutting, you can keep your gear in there. Something like a kayaking dry bag would be perfect to just keep your extra gear dry there if you don't want to use the bed. And this comes off, which gives you a nice plastic surface here with the metal bars that protect the seat. You can strap things down to these seats and have them stuck to the sort of frame of the vehicle. So even though you don't have the full pass-through pickup truck type bed, you still have plenty of luggage options if there's just two people here, where you can just, you know, use that whatever way you want. And that just clips back in, nice and solid, so you can take that in or out if you want. Just really practical space, even though it's not that full pickup bed style, area. We're about to head into the driver's cockpit area. I'll show you that just coming up next, but I want to point out some of the things out front here. Out front, first of all, the Teryx4 Special Edition. You have this unique paint color. You have sort of the gray and black. There's a metallic in here. Actually, in both of them, there's a bit of a metallic in there, darker and lighter. But out front here, let's just turn on the lights for a second and we turn on the key. You've got inner and outer headlights you can turn on, high and low beam here and just a lower beam there. They are white, bright LED. I don't know if you can sort of see that, but that is white and bright, so they're modern looking lights. You've got this crash bar. Now, on a side-by-side, I think a crash bar is really helpful. You're a little bit wider, and sometimes you hit those ATV trails and you just need that little bit of deflection off of some of those branches that might be closing in as the season kind of grows. You also have a winch. I think a winch is a really important thing to have on a side-by-side. These are a little heavier than an ATV. Sometimes if you get stuck, you're gonna need to pull that thing out. You can't just kind of lift it, the back end with a couple strong guys. So you've got that winch there. It's all part of that special edition package. And like I mentioned, the tires, although they are slightly larger, slightly 29 instead of 27-inch tires on this one. The wheels are the same, so the look is very similar. Underneath here, you've got the Fox shocks. They're preload adjustable as well. You've got the piggyback shocks. Basically, if you don't know what that means, it doesn't really matter too much. They are higher performance shocks. They can take a lot of compression, and when you do a lot of compression and coming in and out like that, you're going to have a lot of heat generated. So it takes that heat, puts it in a separate area. Basically, they're going to maintain their performance even over a lot of rutted areas. And with the preload adjustment, you can kind of change the way the vehicle sits a little bit. Actually, you can sort of raise that or lower it to about an inch depending on softest or firmest preload adjustment. It can also change the way it handles just slightly, and if you've got extra passengers in the front or back, you can dial up that preloads to sort of maintain that cushy ride that you're looking for, whether you're with one person or with all four. So really good front end, really good stuff out here. You've also got the braided lines out here for the disc brakes out front, and just high quality stuff all the way through. Out back here, again, you can see all high quality stuff. This is all thick, strong tubing, so that's what you want to see on anything that's going off-road. Still got the piggyback shocks back here. That preload adjustment is just a knob right here, simple to do. The exhaust is in the middle. I like that. It's sort of the most shielded type area. And the brake system, of course, is different on the Kawasaki's. It just keeps it cleaner, works better. You also have a hitch. It tows I believe 1,300 pounds. If I'm wrong, there'll be a correction on screen right now. But being able to tow some stuff out here to take extra gear or even just move stuff around your yard, you can still use this as utility. But again, the Kawasaki Mule is there for utility. This, to me, is really there for having a lot of fun while not losing some of that utility that you might need. Now let's jump into the driver's seat here. We'll take a look. We can open that door right like this. Simple, simple. Again, big, wide open floor. We talked about the floor having those drain holes earlier. This is the driver's side, of course. And of course, no floor mat necessary here. You've got the good grip and you've got the steel pedals. This one, of course, has the Kawasaki sound system, sort of the upgraded sound system. We'll show you that in a second. I've got the lights on here. We should probably turn those off. We'll start them up later. But very simple to use lights right there. And of course, you've got accessory switches over here. You've got the Warn over there, or sorry, the winch over here, which you know, is the winch that comes standard on this model. And this one is those LED lights, which, you know what, I just need to show them to you right now. So we'll just hit that switch up there. We'll hop out, and yeah, these are something. They're great at a dealership. And if you want to be seen, that's an option for you. But, you know, they may not be for everyone. First of all, I want to talk about the seats here. They are nice and cushy. They have a good sort of, you can sort of see that support there when I touch it here. It's a real sharp area, or not sharp, but it comes up there, kind of keeps your legs gripped out there. And what that means is you don't just have side bolstering keeping you in place. Your legs right on this seat can keep you from going side to side. You don't see that very much in a car, but it makes a lot of sense in an ATV like this. And of course, again, you have to wear the seatbelt to get things going, but you've got this padded bar here, where the rear one is just a grab handle there. Having that extra padding bar, if you do hit your shoulders there while you're on the steering wheel, you've got the ability to just kind of use that with your shoulders there. It is a tilt and telescopic steering wheel because I am, or sorry, not tilt and telescopic, it is a tilt steering wheel. Releasing that has a pneumatic push that comes up. So releasing there, it'll push it up to make it easier to get in and out. I won't adjust it today just because I'm holding my camera with one hand, and it's a two-hand affair where you pull that and guide it up or guide it back down. So I'm gonna leave it in where it is. Let's take a look down here, and let's just start it up. We'll, all right, so we're running now. Again, not too loud. I've got a microphone on, so of course I'm speaking up a little bit. The problem with these screens is the camera has one eye, you have two. You see much less glare than the camera does. So again, you can see my Kawasaki shirt in the background there, and I do apologize for that. But you have a nice, clear, simple display. Fuel gauge that with lots of notches in there, so you know what's going on down there. And you've got your odometer here, which you can switch around here to trip A, trip B, and your hour meter as well. So just the basic things you need if you wanted to throw it into four-wheel drive or two-wheel drive. What I like here is you have the knob to do it here. Now you'll see when I switch it to four-wheel drive, it engages right away. But this display does not engage until the actual vehicle does. So it's not tied to just the switch. That display is just, tied to the actual engagement of your four-wheel drive. So at a glance, you know, not only am I in two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, from the switch, you'll know if it's engaged itself there for you. There's that stereo system down there, Bluetooth audio as well. So you've got lots of speakers here. You've got a speaker there as well. And you know, same thing on the driver's side here. Steering wheel is nice and small, really sporty, compact. I kind of like the way that works. And you know, let's just go wide angle for a second here. So we're going to skew the view a little bit. This is a wide angle camera. It can look a little different, but you can see that nice tight steering. It is electronic power steering, or electric power steering, excuse me. And so it makes it easy to steer, you know, when you need to, so it feels appropriate. It's not something that when you're stuck on a tough trail that you can't steer, which is really, really nice. Overall visibility, again, we're going wide angle here, but it is really good out front because you have nothing blocking your view. And I should point out that the rear view, you know what, let's just hop in the rear view. We'll turn this off for a second. We'll hop in the rear view as well, and we'll show you as soon as I find the door handle on the outside there. There we go. Hop in the rear view and we'll talk about that view. Again, we're staying on that wide angle camera, hopping in the rear seat here. So again, you can see that that seat is below me, and this is kind of my view out here. This is actually a very good representation with this wide angle camera of what I can see just leaning just a little bit to the side. So sitting up perfectly straight, I've got a view out the top. You know, if I'm a little shorter, that's probably my view, but I can lean a little bit to the side, and if someone out there sees something in front they want to point to, they can point to it, you can see it. It's just so good for visibility and practicality. Let's jump back into the driver's seat here and show you the gear shift. Get the brake lever there as well. Gear shift is simple, easy to operate. Low range, whoops, come on camera, there we go. So low range is over there, high, and let's just go back to the normal angle, there we go. low range, high gearing, neutral and reverse, super simple. And of course, this little bar is actually a grab handle for your passenger. So your passenger has a way to hang on the inside as well as on the outside. Again, the rear passengers have that bar that goes right across in front of them the whole way, which gives them lots of room. So there's our Jim Gilbert's teddy bear. I should have got Freddy the Frog, who's our Power Sports mascot, but he's sitting in here. If you haven't seen my Instagram, you can check out our teddy bear singing there. But overall, just a really comfortable, really fun place to be to go off-roading. So a quick little recap of the Teryx 4S Special Edition. First of all, you don't need to go with a special edition to get a lot of what I just showed you. You can trim this down a little lower, take the stereo out, a little different, obviously the wheels and tires, that kind of thing, a little different graphics package, but you can keep a lot of the key features that make this really fun for 4 people, even 4 adults. And again, if you're riding an ATV, you can't communicate like you can in this. If you're riding in separate units, you can't point and show people what you're looking at, and you just can't share in the fun the same way you can with this. So again, big strong point, that short wheelbase with plenty of legroom for someone here. And I'm gonna be honest, this is something I'm considering for my family because it's not that much wider than the ATV I currently have, and it can go down almost any ATV trail as well. So if you're interested in Kawasaki ATVs and you want them, and side-by-sides, and you want to know more, subscribe to this channel because we're gonna do a full review of everything that they sell. We're also gonna head on the test track sometime and take these things out and have in action kind of fun videos that way as well. And if there's questions you want to know about anything in the lineup, let me know in the comment section because I can make a video or of course answer your comments, which I try to answer at this point every comment that is there, and we'll also make videos in the future. So I want to thank Jim Gilbert's Power Sports here in Fredericton. Jim Gilbert's Wheels and Deals, Canada's huggable car dealer, #1 volume Kawasaki dealer in the country, even though they've only had the Kawasaki lineup for just a few years now. They are absolutely amazing. This is a destination store, a place to come buy your whatever, your fun thing, power sports, jet skis. They also have, you know, the jet skis, the ATVs, the side-by-sides, Piaggio, Vespa lineup as well, Pedego e-bikes, and of course, great vehicles as well. So I want to thank them for giving me access to their full line, and we'll do another review soon. We'll talk to you in the next one.